Peace and blessings, family. It's Electric Being. Hope you're doing well. And today's message is sungazing. What it is it safe, how to do it properly wherever you're at. We'll also talk about heliotherapy and using the sunlight as medicine. So sungazing is an ancient technique that's been recently brought up since the information age, the internet. And now there's many people who think, or many people who say, that sungazing is not safe. And if you look at the sun, it'll blind you. That's a half-truth. There's falsehood in that. And I've been staring at the sun for many years, and I've gained much wisdom, clarity, just information, just by simply staring at the sun. The secret of how the sun is able to influence life is that it carries sunlight. Not only sunlight, it carries information, intelligence. Now, if we look directly at Ra, right now, the light bringer, the light giver, it's subtle. It's about an hour after sunrise. And as we know, you can watch a sunrise or a sunset. But when the sun is above you, it's much more powerful light. If your eyes aren't adapted for and adjusted to receiving this light directly, it'll bring damage to you because it's intense and you're not ready for that. So the best hours for the beginner are the first hour and last hour of sunrise and sunset. This is when the UV rays are at its lowest, when it's the least intensity. And then as you absorb that light and gradually you build up, your eyes, your retina, the wiring, your nervous system, they begin to get more adapted and adjusted to receiving this light directly through your eyes. It's a science. And again, that's the first and last hours of sunrise and sunset. So as you develop, learn, build, and grow, making this a lifelong practice, you begin to develop a relationship with the light bringer to this earth. Now, you'll be able to look at the sun anytime without any type of blindness. Your eyes will gradually improve by default. And if you don't have the terrain to see the horizon and watch the sunrise and sunset, what you can do is get a bucket of water. Get a bucket of water and look at the reflection of the sunlight. And you can do this anytime, even when the sun is at its highest, and have no trouble. So as you begin to build and develop that strength, you can look at the sun even through the trees. So as you can see here, I'm just getting behind a bush. You can also use the leaves of a tree, and you can absorb the sunlight through the leaves, and the effects on your eyes will be minimized. And of course, that's just for the beginners. When you're gradually developing and strengthening your eyes, it's necessary that you do it as safely as possible. And if you don't have the terrain to do it during sunrise and sunset, that's a great hack to implement. Like cultural programming today has taught us to fear the sun, but we know subconsciously that the sun is the source of all life. Without the sun, there is no life. It sustains everything in our realm. And just think about it, when you're out, you're glowing, you're in a better mood. It's incredible. See, all of the ancients worldwide knew the healing powers of the sun, and they practiced heliotherapy, using the sun as medicine. There's a myriad of both mental, physical, spiritual benefits to be harnessed by it. And now we're starting to really see some incredible studies beginning to acknowledge this, to acknowledge the benefits of absorbing sunlight first thing in the morning, and just being out in the sun. Now, something that really surprised me was learning that vitamin D isn't even a vitamin, it's a steroid hormone. And in ancient Greece, sunlight therapy was touted to cure weak and flabby muscles, increase muscle size by philosophers such as Herodotus. So sunlight is extremely anabolic. So being in the sun strengthens everything, your energy levels, your bone density. It improves your skin, promotes weight loss, helps muscle recovery. It even helps our reproductive organs. If you know, you know. See, the sun biologically strengthens the overall potential of the human body. It's intelligence for your avatar. And a key thing to note here is that it strengthens the pineal gland, which is all about clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, your psychic abilities. Any sun gazer knows what I'm talking about here. See, we are supernatural beings, and the more you face the sun and get those downloads, you become much more intuitive, you become more psychic, because the sun has so many frequencies inside of it. There's a certain revelation you get when communing with the sun, that we are eternal, infinite beings. There is no separation between all things. And you develop a certain calmness and appreciation and gratitude for the miracle of this existence. See, the sun improves melatonin and serotonin levels in the body. These are the feel-good hormones responsible for keeping you in a good mood. Melatonin is responsible for regulating your sleep and wake cycles, your circadian rhythm. So the sun is a great way for recharging melanin and producing more melatonin. So there's two things going on when we do this. There's a physiological aspect, this ancient programming we've had endowed in us since our ancestors to be connected with the sun. And then there's a spiritual deprogramming, recognizing the harmful effects of our modern lifestyles, staring at our phones all day, being under blue light all day, unnatural lighting. and it's returning back to that deep physiological level of getting direct sunlight into the parts of the brain that need it the most. So by now you're probably wondering, okay, that's great and all, but if the sun is so healing, what about us getting burned? First off, let me say I haven't worn sunscreen in several years. I refuse to, I don't need it, and I no longer get burned. Now this is what you need to know. The sun doesn't harm you. The sun doesn't harm you. You harm you through improper relationship with the sun, from your sedentary lifestyles, from the inflammatory junk we call food. And it's important to have a clean diet, but you also need to have a primary relationship with the sun to build a base tan, to gradually absorb sunlight before you just go out there into the beach and tan for 10 hours. You know, it doesn't make sense. And when you realize this, you won't need to slather toxic chemicals over your largest eliminative organ, your skin. Think about it. Does the Most High want you to wear sunscreen? Did the ancients wear sunscreen? No, they didn't. So they didn't have sedentary lifestyles. They didn't have Chick-fil-A. They didn't have blue light. They didn't have artificial environments. I gotta be very careful with how I say this because you know how YouTube is. So when it comes to these toxic chemicals that we slather our skin in, they not only prevent the absorption of vitamin D, but they can increase the risk of cancer. They cause hormonal disruption in both men and women, and they can actually plummet testosterone levels in men. So your skin is your largest eliminative organ. Opt out for the natural alternatives. Address your diet and learn to tan properly. Now, here are some tips that I've learned over the years on how to tan without sunscreen. First, use natural SPFs, coconut oil, shea butter, carrot oil. Next is going to be cutting out the seed oils, removing any artificial and processed crap. There's a reason seed oils are in everything, right? Next, you want to consistently build a base tan, preferably during the morning or the later evening, not in between. Next is going to be staying hydrated with water-based fruits, electric foods. You want to hydrate with the foods you eat also, not just water. Ditch the sunglasses, which disrupt pineal gland function and melatonin production. Your third eye needs raw, unfiltered sunlight. Ditch the sunglasses. Next, improve the quality of your water. Distill water, spring water, reverse osmosis, anything but the Dasani, right? Anything but the endocrine disrupting plastics. Drop some other tips in the comments if you've done this before, if you got any more you'd like to add on. Now, the sun is a conscious being. There's nothing new under him. He sees you for what you truly are because he is you. And if you're worried about getting burnt, understand 2 or 3 hours a day is all you need. And if you do get burned, just know that it was a form of payment for your karmic violations against nature. When you increase your electromagnetic induction, oxygenating the body, natural eating, food without labels, sun gazing, breath work, earthing, you become much more tolerable of the sun regardless of your complexion. And don't be naive about it. Don't be naive about it. You can't expect a lifetime of poor lifestyle choices and poor eating to be fixed within a few weeks. Clean your body, clean your diet, gradually build a base tan before you do that prolonged exposure. And even then, don't push it. Oh man, I got some company. Hey buddy. We love a guest speaker. This is what happens when you start sungazing, you develop a certain calmness around your aura, and animals are able to intuitively pick up on that. So it's all the more reason I just want to connect with Earth. So you might even begin to notice that foods you used to love begin to repulse you. They start to smell awful. Pizza no longer cuts you. And you may even notice that as your hunger goes down, your energy levels go up. And that's because you feel fueled off the sun. It provides nutrients so powerful it can replace the need for food. And the information in the sunlight instructs the body to generate vitamins, amino acids from the energy of the sun. And that's why the chakra that rules our gut is called the solar plexus. Its primary food source should be solar. Alright, so keep in mind that anything in excess can be dangerous. But the ancients didn't wear sunscreen. They didn't live sedentary lives indoors. They didn't have fake foods and an artificial matrix. All the ancient civilizations knew the powerful effects of the sun. And we're avoiding communication with sunlight, starlight, and practically nature herself, when all the best healing modalities are entirely free. So reconnecting to our health begins reconnecting with nature. So it's that simple. I hope this video helps anyone who's interested in the practice but was scared of doing it. And it is a practice that can be safe, but it should take time. Look at it like developing a relationship with a living intelligence. The sun fuels all of the life on Earth because it is a life form itself. It's an intelligence. It's bringing life like the Earth is alive and that's why it can support all of life. Like, we have cells on our body because we are a bigger body. Same with the earth, same with the sun. It's all interconnected. And when you stare at the sun, el sol, with the windows of your soul, and place the soles of your feet into the earth, you're completing the circuit between you, the sun, and the earth. This practice of grounding in the earth and eating the sun will fill up your crown chakra with liquid gold. It'll light your chakras up with pure light energy, which once absorbed, you can begin to project as the true conscious creator of this experience that you are. And when you sun gaze, speak your intention to the sun. Ask questions, listen, and you will receive the answers. And make this much more than just about staring at the sun because it's cute and some spiritual thing to do. It's not about all that. It's about the practical application and the benefits that we will receive in the totality of our being. And in my experience, it has brought me a deep reverence, a deep gratitude for life itself. Something as simple as waking up in the morning, taking a drink of water, being able to just exist is so miraculous. Thanks for joining. Give a thumbs up. Share your experience on sun gazing below. Share this video to let people know sun gazing won't blind them unless they do it in an irresponsible manner. Practice it well. The sun loves you and it wants you to love it back. Thanks again for tapping in, and I'll see you again in the next one.